Hey peeps, so I am here to explain something very real that happened to me. And it's so real that a lot of people that know me personally don't even know that this is something that I went through, because it's something pretty personal, I would say. Like, what transpired. What I'm going to be talking about is postpartum psychosis. Not to be confused with postpartum depression, it's just different. Postpartum psychosis is pretty rare. One out of something, I'm going to post it around here, that explains, like, what are the odds of you getting it. So, pretty much, now I had a C-section when I had my daughter, and a lot of people that have postpartum tend to have it when they have a C-section, that we miss out on that bonding moment. But of course, other people get it too. It's not just if you have a C-section. Now with me, my daughter's umbilical cord was wrapped around her body, her neck, and my C-section wasn't planned, although when her heart rate started to go down, they were like, hey, you can try to push her out, but if you do, it's going to be an emergency one, and that's going to be literally like a whole incision. And I was just like, just do it, just take her out, make sure that she's good. Now, this is when I knew that something was wrong with me personally, when I didn't want to leave the hospital directly, like when it was time to leave the hospital. I didn't want to because I felt like something was going to happen to her. She was going to die. And that was literally, there was no in between. It wasn't like, oh, she can get sick and I have to come back. Like, nah, she was going to die. And when it becomes unrealistic like that, I felt like people were trying to kill her, trying to kidnap her, and that's where the psychosis comes in. So I was 21 when I had her, and my partner, obviously we were young, we were kids. I'm 30 now, so I can definitely say that I did not know what I should have done more research. I should have known certain things and certain signs, and because I was so young, I just thought I was going crazy, or like something just wasn't right, or and obviously my partner's like, yo, you're not acting right, like and obviously that was very a tumultuous time for us in our relationship. Him and I aren't together anymore, that's a different story. But this is what happened to me when I had my psychosis. I had my own apartment and I was living by myself, and I did not even let her sleep in a crib, not even on the bed. I slept on the couch and she slept on this little thing right by me, and I would check her if she was breathing all the time. When it started to get worse is when I started thinking that the people that were cleaning or actually painting my apartments were they were trying to take her from me, in the sense of they were plotting to kidnap her. They were seeing what I was doing on a daily basis. They were like taking notes, and they were gonna come into my house when I was like, and just take her. Now, when I would take her for a walk, I would literally leave her at the entrance of my door, and I would run into the house, and I would run into the house, and I would look in the cabinets, I would look under the bed. Mind you, like, no adult can even fit in a cabinet. That's what I mean by unrealistic. That's what I mean by psychosis. Like, these are very unrealistic thoughts, that someone would have. So if you have a friend that's like, hey, the FedEx man is like trying to, break into my house and take my child, or he's watching me through the window, or things like this, this is where the psychosis comes in, and it's not normal. And that's something I would recommend, to go to a doctor, to a therapist, to be someone that's there. I would recommend to go to a doctor, a therapist, or to just be the person that's there for your friend during this time, because let me tell you, I can't explain how scary it was, because this is something that's very real to the person. You can be like, no girl, you're fine, like, I'm there, I'm sleeping with you. No, this is very real. So even if you sleep there for one day, what's going to happen the next? What ended up transpiring is that I was so overwhelmed that I felt the need to take my own life, because I didn't want to see her get sick. I didn't want for me to get sick and then die. I felt the only solution was for me to die, so then she would have a happy life, because if something happened to her, like, I just don't know, like, what I would have done. And another example would be my partner and I, we went to a party, and it was like one of his family members, and a little boy took my daughter's pacifier and was like playing with the pacifier thing, putting his finger in there, and it's all dirty. And I remember I just started bawling, crying. I had to go to the car, and I was just bawling. And he's just like, what's wrong with you? Obviously, what was wrong with me? Like, you know, I couldn't really verbalize at the time that I felt like, oh, him touching the pacifier would then put germs in my daughter's mouth and then she would end up dying. Like, literally, like, that was always the case. Like, she was gonna die, she was gonna die. So it was just only a matter of time before she died, and I couldn't feel that pain, and that's why I ended up trying to kill myself. And I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. And meditation therapy is something that I would recommend for anyone. And if you have any questions, or if you're like, do I have it, do I not? Obviously, I'm no doctor, but you could always leave a comment. Whatever the case is, we can talk. I'm not over talking to people and just putting them on and letting them know about my story, because it's something that you should not go alone through at all. And nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I thank you for just holding it down and sticking with me here as I go through this another change in my life, which is my new career. But I will say that my daughter is so awesome. She's amazing, and it will subside. What you're feeling right now will subside if you get the proper help right now, instead of waiting for it, because I waited for it because I had no other choice. I didn't understand. But now that I do, that's why I am giving you guys, the wings to fly and to understand that it's only just passing time. Your hormones will calm down. They will be fine. And until then, please, if you have a family member, ask them to just hold you down during this time, stay with you during this time, because this is the most sensitive. You don't want anything to happen to you, because you may feel that it's so real that something may happen, and whether it's you, because I didn't want to harm my child, but maybe other people would want to. So it's like, this is the time where you should be the most vigilant and have the most self-care for yourself. Okay, it's not just about the baby, it's also about you. So thank you for watching this, and like and subscribe, and I appreciate you always.